be a part of Sunset Boulevard. I woke up
Wednesday night, right here on pACT, all of our networks. We're also on Ability's YouTube channel, and we appreciate them showing our shows every night. We have a very, very busy show. Over the past couple days, I've been recording quite a few interviews with some of my partners and a few of our guests who are going to be talking to us about certain programs they have for mental health recovery. We are in on where the rules and the game has kind of changed a little bit for um, rediscovering the happy place. The mission is still the same. Excuse me. I don't know why all of a sudden I thought I had to die there, but apparently I did. Um, the mission is still the same. Okay. We need to make sure that we're doing everything that we can do to save lives, to start a conversation. We need to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to help people. One of the interviews that we've got tonight is also from a great friend that you guys have heard before on this show, Mr. Brian Gibson, about Hope Stock. He's going to be the second interview that we play. And he's given us an update. We are 8 days away from, actually, we're a little more than 8 days away. It starts on the 29th, 30th, and 31st. We are just days away from it happening, regardless if it's 8 or whatever it is. It's actually a little bit further, thank goodness for that. But we still need your help. Brian still needs your help. Our heroes still need your help. And you can participate in what Brian is putting together. We here at the pACT channel, we're going to dedicate our channel on that Friday. Anytime Brian needs us, he's going to have access to be putting whatever he wants on the channel. All he's got to do is say, hey, I'd like to say something. You're going to have full reign of the channel. I'm getting married that weekend, so I will not be able to attend. And if there was one thing that I wish I could attend, it would be that. But unfortunately, fortunately, I'm getting married. Thank God I'm getting married. Thank God I found somebody who would take me. So, hey everybody, my name is Zach Clayton. I am the founder and the president of Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and pACT. As I've said, we do have quite a few things going on today. And then we are going to be back on Friday afternoon with Community Impact. We're going to be running the show again. And through these times, we're recording all kinds of interviews with many different people who deal with people who have stresses or mental issues, mental difficulties. And we're going to be bringing them to you because these are some people who have had many, many solutions for this. There are many different solutions for this problem. You're going to be meeting one tonight. She's a great partner of mine, and that's the reason why we're bringing her on tonight. Her name is Daria Mann. She is a hypnotherapist, a great friend of mine, a dear friend of mine. She is down in the Denver area, but she can talk you through things no matter where you are. I purposely asked her, do you have room for more clients? And she very abruptly said, yes, I do. We have room. So we want to make sure that you pay it, you understand that. We're also going to be talking to, as I mentioned, Brian Gibson of Project Die Hard, and Larry Robs, who has started Larry Robs' clothing line. And it's a very interesting program that he's got. He is in Africa. And what he's doing is he has also built a recycle center. And then these recycle center he's using to put together a fashion school and help these kids create clothing. give these kids a chance to create clothing, create style. We all know we see it everywhere. There's all kinds of fashion that is inspired by Africa. But I asked him, and you'll see the question, in which I do have to apologize. We did end up having a blackout right at the end of the show. Tends to happen when the temperatures are over 100, and we ended up having a blackout. So it does cut off abruptly at the end, but we still appreciated him joining us. Our first video tonight is from another partner of ours. She's a real estate agent here in Colorado. Her name is Tracy Konigsbauer. She is very important to us because she, previously to moving to Colorado, she worked with veterans in the Pennsylvania area. And she sent a message to me very early on, and she said, I hear what you do. I want to be part of it. And so Tracy is one of those people that anytime that we have something to do with veterans, we're always calling Tracy saying, hey, Tracy, what do you think? What should do? What do you think we should do here? I like having a sounding board. And Tracy's one of those people. She is a contributor to Community Pay It Forward and Community Dare to Care events. Before we get started, I want to give a huge appreciative thanks to both Sarah Goodall and Emily Golmer for all the hard work you ladies have done the last 2 weeks. Our life kind of took a little bit of a juggling act, if you want to call it that. And I depended on you ladies to do a lot of things. And I just want to, from deep down in my heart, even though I haven't been around as much as I like to be around, I want to thank you very much for everything that you do. I truly could not do anything without your efforts. I'd also like to throw that thanks into Mr. Z, my webmaster. Without you, brother, my everything I have would be a mess. So, but here we go. This is our first recording. Very as I mentioned, this was a great time for me because Tracy's been a partner for a few years now, and getting to actually sit down and talk to her in this kind of a setting rather than doing anything else, was a great pleasure for me. So here's Tracy Konigsbauer. She works for Blue Pebble. Blue Pebble down in Denver. It is a Keller Williams program. But please enjoy this. And if you have any questions, make sure that you leave them in the comments and I will get back to you with the answer. I will ask Tracy and get the answer for you. So here we go with Tracy Konigsbauer.
Okay, hope it doesn't get loud.
Hey, everybody, how's it going? I'm sitting here with a great partner of mine for about 2 years now, Tracy Konigsbauer. How are you doing, sweetie?
I'm good. Sitting outside on my little patio here, enjoying the nice day.
And now remember, when you guys see this in the summertime, that this is what a Colorado winter looks like. So, or no, right, Colorado summer. When you're sitting outside in the winter time, this is what a Colorado summer looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
I claim head injury. I was not that smart to begin with, so that's just remember that part. Tracy, you work with Bluestone. Is that correct?
Blue Pebble Homes.
Blue Pebble Homes. Tell us a little bit about what Blue Pebble Homes are and where your territory is.
Sure. So we are a residential real estate team. We're part of KW Keller Williams downtown Denver. We are a residential real estate team that helps people either buy, sell, or invest in real estate, residential real estate. I cover pretty much anywhere in the Denver metro, specializing in Denver or South Denver communities, but really anywhere in the Denver metro area we can service. But we've also gone up to Fort Collins and down to the Springs as well.
So really, you're not afraid to go and show homes anywhere?
No, no fear.
That's good. You recently moved here from the Philadelphia area, in which is it's been a little while, but what brought you to Colorado?
I've been here, a little over 6 years. Lived DC, Baltimore, Philly. So lived in a few places on the East Coast. Grew up in the Philly area. But I mean, really, just days like this, what brought me here to Colorado. Just the outdoor kind of activities. Yeah, just kind of a change of pace as well. And like I said, I've been here. It was 6 years in March, so it's probably here to stay, not going anywhere in the short term for sure.
Well, I'll tell you, we sure like the Colorado attitude and not having the Philly attitude, you know. So that's they're kind of weird. But what are some of the things that you and your husband like to do? I know you guys are very active on getting out and about. What are some of the things that you guys enjoy doing?
Definitely being outside for sure. Sitting out here in the backyard, taking the dogs, taking them wherever we can on road trips when it's not 100 degrees. But
Yeah.
love music as well. So there's a lot of kind of opportunities to see live music here in Colorado in the Denver metro. So I can play a little bit of some instruments. So always kind of been a passion of mine. We're involved in some other nonprofit work too that helps homeless pets here in the state as well. So yeah, just trying to be involved in the community as much as possible as well.
You're also a huge advisor for us when it comes to veterans. You had worked with a hearing program or was it vision program at one point in time?
Hearing, yeah. When I left my corporate job before I led a field sales team. We had a veterans program, and it was technology for veterans who have hearing loss, which most do have some level of hearing loss. So worked a lot on the B2B side, but also directly with veterans as well, but also helping kind of be the liaison with the veteran service officers and providing information and education on what our services were so that they can in turn provide that knowledge to the veterans themselves.
Yeah, now you help us by introducing us to new veteran nonprofits, and anytime that we have anything to do with veterans, I gather your opinion on it. I value your opinion greatly when we come to stuff like that. Tracy, let's get back a little bit to your work. What are some of the things that you can offer different types of people? What are some of the, do you have anything special for like first-time buyers or people who are trying to retire, or what are some of the programs that you offer people?
Well, there's different programs specifically on the lending side, and I have a lot of different partners there. I have a lender who I love sending my veterans to for VA, and I have another lender who really specializes and likes working with first-time home buyers and just kind of has some different programs there. But I mean, it's super customizable. So I'm here to really listen to the needs of the client, and then determine kind of what resources they might need and which direction they should go. But there's different programs available for each situation. I'm working with a client right now who's looking to downsize and go into a retirement community. So just trying to help them as best we can and find just kind of the best fit. And then, taking that and sending him to the correct lender, the person that's going to be able to, kind of guide him in the right direction as well.
And how do people get a hold of you if they would like to talk to you about any listing?
They can send me a text, give me a call, or shoot me an email. Text and phone is usually the most immediate. It's right next to me all the time, but can always respond to emails as well. Or I have a LinkedIn page, Facebook, whatever is most comfortable for the client.
Okay. Can you give us your phone number, please?
Sure. 443-789-2461. That's my cell phone. So that goes directly to me. I have an office line as well. But usually a cell is just the easiest, most direct way to get in touch with me because I'm all over the place. So
yeah, it's kind of funny when we're, business people, they do have that office line anymore. It's kind of one of those things that I really wonder, is that actually a necessary expense? Because who's ever really at their office anymore? You know, I
Yeah.
mean, and so it's really kind of one of those things that I you know, I'm not sure if I would ever even spend money on an office phone, but you know, that's just me. So but you want to talk to people if they're buying or selling, correct? Uh-oh.
Yep. Yeah, or if they're looking to invest in real estate as well. I have a
Okay, you're back.
oh, okay.
So yeah, and let me ask that one more time. You're looking for people who are buying and selling, correct?
Yep. Yes. Yep. It doesn't have to be a primary residence as well if they're looking for an investment opportunity. If they want to list their investment property, it doesn't have to necessarily be their primary residence either.
Okay, and we've got your page right here. And as a member of the Community Pay It Forward program, you are giving back a portion of any real estate transaction to the mission of your choice, correct?
Yes, I have been donating to the nonprofit that I'm a part of separately. Like I said before, we help homeless animals, and then we're doing some programs with veterans, specifically homeless veterans within that. But if someone has a charity or nonprofit of choice that's near and dear, I'm happy to make a contribution or learn more about it. Absolutely.
No, that's great. And make sure that you introduce us to that nonprofit that you love, and we can get them on board with what we try to do as well. So
Yep.
just a way that we can always try to help you make sure that we're doing the right thing. So I appreciate you joining us for this really quick packed short. We're just trying to introduce all of our partners. And if you're looking for a home in the Colorado area, we're just going to say it like that. We're not going to limit your workspace, but if you're looking for a home, especially in the Denver area, make sure that you make Tracy one of your calls and see what she's got going. Tracy, you're also going to be sharing videos with us to put out. You and I were talking about that a little bit. So
Yeah.
we ask you just to make sure that you keep up on our pages and see everything that Tracy's got going. So Tracy, I want to thank you very much for joining us. And one more time, your phone number for everybody?
443-789-2461.
That's great. So make sure you give her a text or a call. Tell her that you heard about her through Community Pay It Forward, and let's make sure that we put your money, your purchase, where your heart is. My name is Zach Clayton. I'm with Tracy Konigsbauer. We're Community Pay It Forward. All that's missing in this whole transaction here is you. Give Tracy a call, get into a new home, get out of the old home, and help somebody out while you're working. So my name is Zach. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Okay, so there was video one. Success-ish, kind of, sort of, well, maybe, you know, I mean, hey, it was a good time. Like I said, I love being able to meet, to talk to a lot of these individuals that I've worked with for quite a while, but we, you know, being in a working environment, a lot of times you just don't have time to connect with each other, and although we love bringing them to you live, sometimes that's just not it's just not possible. So tonight is one of those nights that because of everything that we've got going on, we are putting together some of these videos that we have recorded. We're doing this for a couple reasons. One, just because we really are going to start concentrating on mental health issues. Adam Voisin, as you guys can see in the comments, is letting us know that he's got another one regarding mental health that he's going to be connecting us with. So we're extremely excited to see to learn about this. Adam is a great contributor to the show. He's been on the show before. We haven't talked to him in a while. Maybe we need to get to doing that sometime here pretty soon there, Adam. So yeah, let's get together. Next up, we've got a another interview. This one was done this morning. We were talking to, again, great friend of mine. You've seen him on this show many times. As far as I'm concerned, you cannot see him on this show enough. His mission is to save hero lives. Okay, if you've raised your right hand, if you've given that swear to the government, if you've given up your life for the service of your country, this man's here to help you. Community Pay It Forward would also like to let you know that we are a partner with Brian in everything he does. Okay. And one of the ways that you can help Brian is through the Mall in One.
Hey folks, I'm Chip Wynn with Chip Wynn Motors and Chip Wynn Classic Cars right here in Paducah, Kentucky. Today I want to tell you about something that's near and dear to my heart, Project Die Hard. Now what is that? That is an organization set up to help our veterans who are transitioning from military life back into civilian life and to help them do it in a healthy, good way. We need your support, we need your help, we need your financial help. What we're going to do is the weekend of July 28th, 29th, and 30th, we're going to have a massive celebration and a fundraiser for Project Die Hard. Even Saturday, July the 30th, we are going to have a classic car show. Not only our cars will be in it, but the public will be invited to participate as well. Now is the time to step up and support a really worthy organization. Project Die Hard. Come on and join us.
We're back. My name is Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the pACT channel. I am being joined by my really good friend Brian Gibson of Project Die Hard, and we're going to be talking about Hope Stock. Folks, we are weeks away, well, almost days away from this, the 29th, 30th, and 31st. We're here, time is now, but you are still needed. Brian, what are some of the most important things you are looking for right now to make Hope Stock happen?
Well, most important things we're looking for right now is, of course, volunteers. We'll always take volunteers. But we need some more sponsorship. We need some funds. We all know JR from the Veterans Ranch. He called just the other day. He's supposed to be emceeing our event. You know, his voice, his great demeanor, he's supposed to be on the stage emceeing. But due to circumstances, fuel costs money. And his organization, we all fight for that, but, we need help bringing JR to Hope Stock. We need help bringing Daniel Faust and Michelle Faust to Hope Stock so they can deliver their message of hope that could save a veteran's life that will be at the event.
There's this event is most everybody who watches the channel knows about this event. Brian, why don't you go on ahead and just for those who have never met you before and those who have never heard your story, first tell them about Hope Stock, and then we'll get into Project Die Hard after you're done with the introducing Hope Stock.
Well, Hope Stock is our annual event to give the veterans of the region where we're at a weekend of fun, food, relaxation, fellowship, and some good inspirational talks, just to say, hey, there is hope. on the horizon. That's Hopestock in a nutshell. It is July 29th, 30th, and 31st at beautiful Forward Operating Base Rush, located at 189 Haven of Love Drive, Makanda, Illinois.
We're still going to have portions of this live streamed, correct?
Oh, yes, yes. On the pACT channel and a few others. Again, brother, thank you, because you started that ball. Yeah, it's going to be going out to over 2 million people. You know, again, sponsorships. I mean, you running their commercials to the end of the year. Thank you. God bless. Right. So people step up. I got 8 more days. I can't get your logo on the t-shirt anymore because Ginger and David, you know, they got to do their work. We got a video out on our social media about the t-shirts being printed, but we can put your logo on the thank you board. We can tell all the attendees that you stepped up to save a veteran's life.
Yeah, you know, there's never, and yeah, we understand sponsorship. We understand the way that sponsorship works, but this is a sponsorship of, well, hope. But more importantly, this is a sponsorship about saving lives. Tell us about Project Die Hard, Brian. Tell us what are some of the important things you're looking to do for our country's heroes?
Well, again, the whole mission of Project Die Hard is to build facilities nationwide that give a veteran a place to come for a day, a weekend, a week, a month, up to a year, to get the help they need. Some of my brothers and sisters need a little bit of help. Some need more. You know, so our places are going to be judgment-free zones for veterans. They get to come. They get to talk. They get to not feel bunched up, you know? They're among their brethren.
You battled your demons when you got out of the service.
Yes.
Your message from God was brought to you and helped you pull the gun out of your mouth to where now this has become it's become more than just a dream. This has become a drive. This has become what your life is about.
Yes.
Why is this so important to you right now? What makes this just the most important thing you've got going?
Because every day I hear of my brothers and sisters losing their fights to the demon. I self-medicated with alcohol up until that point where I had a gun in my mouth, ready to end it. And then God saved my life. And then when Tim Pinsky's wife called me and said, he's hanging in the garage, I said, there had to be more. There had to be a better way to do it. So for the listeners that haven't heard me before, we formed in 2018. 2019, we just got our footing put in. We were just starting to gain ground. And then good old 2020 hit. But during that 2020, right? Again, this is God's blessing. We had 20 acres and a 10,000 square foot building donated to us. We own it. We got it. It needs some work. This is what Hopestock is for, to get our name out there, right? To show people, come, put your hands on the building. See, we're going to prove that we're real.
One of the best things that you've got going with Hope Stock is exactly what you just said. Put your hands down. You can take and you can see what this is about. You can feel what this is about. You can hear, experience what is going to be going on with not just in Illinois. This is a plan for everywhere in the United States. This is a program that is, it's hard for veterans to find something like this, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it is. You can go to the VA clinics, you can, right? But again, that's the organized, it's you become a number. Well, at our facilities, you're not a number. You're a human being that needs help. Again, this is why Forward Operating Base Rush will house 12 single veterans and 2 veterans with their families. Excuse me. It's not a matter of quantity with us, it's quality. Yes, if a veteran needs to come and help finding a job, we're going to have that at our facilities. If they want to come and learn how to blacksmith, we'll have that at our facilities. If they want to come and play with horses, we'll have that. JR and the Veterans Ranch, right? That's what our facilities are. Yeah, we're in Southern Illinois because we had 20 acres and a 10,000 square foot building donated. We have to get this facility up and running first. We have to work out all the kinks, right? I got smarter people around me every day. We got the land, we got the plan. Now we just need the resources to get it done. And this is where your help, your followers, joining with your businesses, picking us as a charity, you're going to be shopping anyway, so why not shop, right?
That's right. Just a real quick a note on this. Every time that you shop with our Mall in One, a portion of your sales does go to help Project Die Hard and the Veterans Ranch through the organization that we have started. Brian, you mentioned something that is very, very special about the forward operating bases, and that's the 2 families, because there's nothing like that anywhere else in the United States.
We haven't found it. We are the only ones that I know of that will take a veteran and their families in for up to a year. And again, I got to roll back to how did that come onto our mission, right? Because nobody does families, right? When a veteran calls and said, "Are you guys real?" And I said, "Yes, we are." And he needed help, and we got him help. Even though we're tied into networks, we got the veteran help. But come to find out, here's this veteran, disabled, living in a minivan with a wife and 2 kids. What is that? That's when I went back to my people and said, "Hey, we're doing families." And my business guy goes, "Do you know how much it's going to cost in insurance?" And I went, "Nope. But we're still doing it because there's a need there. There's a need."
One of the most important things to remember when it comes to the family, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong here, is it's not only the veteran that feels the pain, the mental drain. It's the family as well. The family, when the individual leaves to join the service, sorry, they don't get that person back. They get somebody completely different back, do they not?
Yes. My wife,
treating the family is very important in this case.
yeah, my wife can tell you, From actually this Saturday is our wedding anniversary, and she can tell you, every time I deployed, every time I come back, I was a different man. But she still loves me. I still love her, and I'm so grateful for her support. But again, families need the support too. And we're going to provide that with counselings and therapies, and just to let the kids know that mommy or daddy's not the same, but they still love you. And they have some problems that we're going to be helping with. And we need your help to help your loved one, your mother, your father. Okay.
It's also good for the kids to be around, good to have the kids around as these treatments are happening, as this recovery is happening, because then the children will grow up understanding a little bit more, and they're going to be more acceptable of, look, tough times can happen, but there's something out there. I think right now, and I don't think that there's going to be very many people who argue with me on this. There's a lack of confidence in a lot of programs out there, because they say they do a whole lot of stuff, yet when it comes time to it, they don't. Brian, one of the things that you want to make sure that people understand is that when a donation comes to you, it's going directly to Project Die Hard. It is not going to Brian Gibson, the man. It's going to Project Die Hard.
Yes. From day one, we've been totally transparent. You can go to our website. You can see all of our 990s. You can request from our accountant our monthly P&L. If you really want to know how much we spend on toilet paper, that's up to you. But it's there for you to see. We've been fully transparent. Again, it doesn't go to my wallet. I do not take a salary. None of my board takes a salary. We run off donations and volunteers. As I've been saying on a couple other podcasts, we're trying to bring back what it means to be a nonprofit. To help others. Not a real estate magnet. Again, we'll never spend $10.2 million on the Super Bowl commercial. This is where all your followers can help us. Go to we're everywhere. We're on Instagram, Facebook, the web. Share our mission. Takes 2 seconds. Tell somebody about us, right? Because we're never going to spend $10.2 million on a Super Bowl commercial. This is how we grow.
And this is one of the most important things that we as a community program, the Community Pay It Forward program, can do, is it is our duty to tell people that there are organizations like Brian's, like Project Die Hard out here. This is our duty as people of this program, as a family, to let people know there's something out here that does good for all. It's not, this isn't, you don't care if it's men, women, you don't care if they fought in World War II or where they fought. You don't even care if they fought.
Yeah, again, a veteran is a veteran. They sign that blank check to give, right, all the way up to their life. Whether they've seen combat or not, no. Let's look at Forward Operating Base Rush, named after Sergeant Courtney Rush of the United States Air Force, right? She lost her fight to the demons January 3rd, 2012. She never saw combat. Her thing, she was a crew chief. She did angel flights. if for people who don't know what those are bringing our fallen home. So she sat in the back with this, I forget what aircraft but it was a huge one, filled with a bunch of American flags over coffins. And that's what got her. That's where the demon started to poke in. That was her PTSD moment. Right? She never saw a bullet fly over her head. She saw the end result of war. So whether or not you've seen it firsthand, okay, war is messy. It spills over. But again, we're open to all veterans. We don't care what age they are. It's if you serve this country honorably and you need help, this is what our mission is for.
I think that's a very, very good point, a very valid point, that war is war, and we know that there are going to be problems that come with war. But depression has many triggers. There's not, there's no telling on what can really take and turn someone's life from being able to handle life to not being able to, or not wanting to live anymore.
Yeah.
If we don't try to help, then we're not doing anybody any good. So we need to make sure that we get this word out. All we ask you to do is please visit projectdiehard.org. Go read the message. Read the message. Find them on Facebook. Share. All you got to do is hit that share button and send it out to all your friends. Folks, it doesn't take but a minute. Money ruins the world, or rules the world, whatever you want to say. Money rules the world. We understand this. They need money. But what you can do that doesn't cost you a damn penny is to hit that share button to all of your friends and let them know they are here. And then we here at Community Pay It Forward beg you, visit some of our partners, do business with them, send that money directly to send it to us and tell us we support Project Die Hard. This can get this done without you doing anything else. Let's start thinking about this and coming together, and let's work with each other, because if we're not helping someone, we're hurting everyone.
Well, again, I got to remind people, look, we are faith-based and scripture-led.
Yep.
You've heard the story, but we'll tell it again. Last year, that veteran, very successful entrepreneur, came to the mission, said, I will give you $2 million. Okay, great. But here comes the strings, right? You have to remove God from all your literature, and you cannot hand out a Bible. Well, no, God saved my life. We're not apologetic about it, right? We are faith-based and scripture-led. And we ask people to share our mission because we know there's someone out there with the resources, right? They just haven't heard of us yet. They just need to hear about us, hear about our mission, and they could literally just write that check. You may not be able to, but there's somebody out there that can. So share our mission. Again, visit our website, projectdiehard.org. Take some time, go through it, look at the videos of the property, look at the plans, look at it. Just don't scan over. Take the time, take 5 minutes, dive into our facilities, how you can help. There's a myriad of ways. Volunteer. Send us an email, contact@projectdiehard.org. Say in the subject, I want to help. And we will send you information on volunteering. You don't have to be physically in Southern Illinois or Western Kentucky to volunteer for Project Die Hard. You may have that skill that we need. Right now, just off the top of my head, who out there wants to take over writing a newsletter for Project Die Hard? Do you have that skill? Do you have that time? Right? Have you ever done a newsletter? Reach out, contact at projectdiehard.org. Let's talk. You know, there's a myriad of ways you can help. Just reach out. We'll send you information. If you decide to go from there, thank you. God bless.
There's also another request I've got for all other podcasters, all over, all bloggers, everybody. If you're looking for a great feel-good story that can feel a hell of a lot better, contact Brian. Reach out to him. Help tell people about what they do. Again, this is a program that is going to save American heroes, save their lives, help them not make end-of-life decisions. 37 a day. We are losing 37 heroes a day. This number is unacceptable. Losing one a day is unacceptable. Losing one a day because they cannot find hope is unnecessary. If we let them know there are programs out here like Project Die Hard. So please join us, Community Pay It Forward, in supporting and helping Brian, Project Die Hard, and everything that they do. And let's bring an end to people not having hope. Brian, I thank you very much for joining us. I'd like to give you the last word. You got anything else that you would like to say?
Brothers and sisters, my fellow veterans, don't give up. We're in the fight. We're not giving up. So I need you not to give up. Right? There is hope. You don't believe me? Open that Bible, Romans 15:13. You'll see it. You'll feel it. There is hope. Don't give up the fight.
To all of our veterans out there, if you need a little bit of help, call us 970-909-0751. We will get you in contact with Brian, or we'll get you in contact with somebody else who you can talk to, somebody who understands what you're going through. I'll never claim that I understand what you're going through, but I do claim to tell you I care, and we will be here to help you through whatever we can. So please give us a call, 970-909-0751. We are here to help. Please let us do this. Brian, thank you, my friend. We're going to continue to run this. We're going to continue to push. And again, we will run a commercial for you through the end of the year if you sponsor Hope Stock. Brian, how do they contact you to get more information about Hope Stock?
Contact at projectdiehard.org. Send us an email, right? And we will send you all the whole information packet. Sponsorship, volunteer, you know. We are blessed that just yesterday, we have a foundation from Southern Illinois that their motto is saving veterans' lives one meal at a time, is coming on board for Hope Stock, and they're going to be handling all the food for the event.
That is so fantastic. Hey, do me a favor.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Do me a favor and have them reach out to us. I'd like to give them all the kudos in the world for what they're doing. Congratulations on your wonderful submission to this wonderful project. We thank you from the bottom of our heart. Again, contact at projectdiehard.org. It's not too late to get involved. It's never too late. Make sure that you find out more. Even if you send an email saying, Brian, I vow to you that every day I'll tell at least 10 people. Let them know that your support is there. Your support is needed. Physically, mentally, financially, your support is needed. Every little bit helps. Nothing is too little. make
Yes,
sure you
sir.
get out there. So thank you, Brian. I appreciate it, brother. Great luck, continued luck. We're going to try to hook up with you at least one more time before the event. You know, we're going to be here. We're going to be sharing our channel with everything that you guys are doing on the 29th, 30th, and 31st. I won't be here, but somebody will be here making sure that we're spreading the word, because this is
Oh.
something important to all of us.
Yes, it is, brother. And this event is just shaping up to be great.
No,
If you're in the Southern Illinois area, come on by.
that's
That's all I
right.
can say.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a great time for a road trip. Just remember that. So, but we want to thank Brian. Please remember projectdiehard.org, projectdiehard.org. If you have any trouble finding it, go to networking at community, or I'm sorry, go to communitypayitforward.us, go to our mission partners, and they're under our both heroes and veterans, and they're also under our 501c3s. You can find Project Die Hard anywhere and everywhere. My name is Zach Clayton. I am the president and founder of Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the pACT channel. And I want to thank you for joining us. And please, please, please remember, our veterans gave of themselves. Let's support them. Thank you, Brian, again. We'll talk to you all soon. Have a great evening. Hey, everybody, it's Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the pACT channel. We are, as you guys can probably well tell by now, in the middle of doing a lot of recorded interviews, which is one of my favorite things to do, is interviewing all of these individuals, because each and every one of them has a different story. And these stories are so fascinating, from you know, from our partner standpoint to people with rediscovering the happy place, to the, my guest right now, Larry Robs. He is starting something wonderful in Africa because he has a passion for fashion, and he wants to see Africa clean up a little bit. So he's taking the two passions. And Larry, why don't you go on ahead, and we'll introduce you at this time. Like I said, this is my guest, Larry Robs. Tell us about what your plan is in Africa. And I think this is fantastic. I really do.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Zach. First of all, I would like to start from the scratch, from the basic. I started this company in 2012 while I was a student in India, and at first it was I was actually focusing on how to results in Africa. So most times I'll produce shoes, clothes in bulk, and I'll take it to my country. Now I noticed something in the middle, or when I sell it to the middleman. For example, if I sell something for $10, most of them end up selling at $100. So I feel like my strategy wasn't working. Now, Africa is actually, it consists of more of a low income and middle income class. So how do you expect people to buy something of $100 when they can't even afford to eat? Yeah. So I said, okay, I need to look for the best way to solve this problem. I kept doing that until 2019. I said enough is enough. So I decided to do a research in 6 countries in Africa. Because of the pandemic, I couldn't go on with the project, but I was able to achieve this, the research. Now, I noticed the same issue in all those countries. It means most of they get clothes, shoes, and all that from Western countries. And when it gets into the country, you find out that only 30% of all these things are useful. So what happens to the rest of the 70%? They have to dispose it to the lake, to the river, and all that. Now, if you look at if you're familiar with used things, personally, if I buy new used things and I put it on my body, I have this low self-esteem that doesn't make me laugh. I feel like, oh, I think something is actually not. I don't feel welcome with it though, and that's another way of, I'm gonna call it like it's a way of saying that it brings poverty, because when you have that mindset that you're very low. So I wanted to solve all those problems. I wanted to solve how to reduce cancer, because there are some chemicals that are attached to all these products also, which a lot of people doesn't know. It causes a lot of skin irritation, and which also causes cancer. So what's the best way? How do I solve this problem? So I came up with an idea of, let's start a recycling factory. Now, when we start a recycling factory, we can start a recycling school also from the profits we get from the recycling factory. And this school is not, the fashion school is not just going to be a place where we sew shoes or make shoes, because that's what we've been doing in most African factories. It's going to be totally different. It's going to be where people can, different African students can come into and learn more about how to convert flowers into perfumes, how to recycle clothes, on any type of fabrics. Like, it's going to be a very deeper part. Now, for example, if we have like 1,000 students for the first year, and yeah, everybody cannot be a boss. So let's say we have 1,000. So let's say 200 are going to work for others, while 800 are going to graduate having their own personal brands. So now it means we can, when they go out to start their local brands, and because they have the knowledge of the deeper part of fashion, it means we can have healthy competition, we can reduce the environmental pollution, and thirdly, we can empower people with this. So it's going to be a baby step, one by one by one. I think that's the best way. I'll actually put that. Now let's go back to this to the cancer part of it, like the health part of it. Just like I said, you see a lot of skin irritation from all these clothes because of the population of people. For example, Africa is almost 1.4 or 1.3 billion. So a lot of people want to make fast things just to get fast money. So real cottons are not used like before. They've gone back to to polyester, to the rayon and all that. And if you look at the composition of most of these polyester and all that, they contain some chemicals like fluoridamides, which even when you inhale them for too much, you have a lot of cancer, you have leukemia and all that. So now we can stop that by restricting that. Okay, we have to know the quality, we have to know the standard quality. Like, okay, we can't buy this, we can't allow this in this so place. It has to be organic. That's the best way I feel I can put that. Thank you.
What are the other things that you're doing? Actually, there are two other things that I really want to touch on. One is you're giving an opportunity to kids at something that there's really not a huge emphasis on in Africa. There's not a huge emphasis on fashion, is there? Exactly. There's a lot of fashion that comes from the African culture, but there's really not a large fashion industry, is there?
Exactly. Now, that's a very good question. If you look at the estimation of the fashion industry in the world, it's $1.8 trillion.
Wow.
But Africa only has 31 billion. The whole population of 1.4 billion people, or let's say 4 billion people, can only come up with $31 billion. That's a very low, So yeah, the way to support these kids, because of the middlemen have actually inflated a lot of the prices. So you see, mothers or families can afford good shoes for their students, for their kids to go to school. There are some countries I would like to mention because it doesn't sound professional. There are some countries when I would visit the country, you see some students, they are going to school, their clothes are torn, the shoes are bad. How do you want a student to feel better when they go to school with those kind of things? You know, it's at the end of the day, it doesn't sound. So what we're going to be looking at is this. Some of the profits of the factory that we're getting, we're going to be converting yearly. We're going to be focusing on some particular students, like a particular number of students, where we can produce shoes and bags. It's going to be like after and before school. It means like when they are going to school, they can have a shoe to put on, and when they are back home, they can have a slippers to put on. So they don't have to use those products, because when they use it too much, it gets bad. You know, so we're gonna have before and after school package for them. So with that, I think we can be able to like improve on the whole section of education in Africa too. Thank you.
Yeah, the other thing is that another thing is you're continuing education of a country where education is more of a gift rather than a right. Am I correct? That where more kids have to do work than can actually go to school. So this is something that is actually that's really doing so much for a country, for the people of a country that they just wouldn't have without this.
Yeah. It's something.
How many students do you see attending this school every year?
Okay. I like the numbers because I'm an economist also though. So let me in the pandemic, for instance, in an area of almost 500,000 people, so for a student, 500,000 people, yeah, almost 25% got pregnant that couldn't go back to school. Now, almost 70% could not go back to school because of school fees and the normal basic amenities that they need to. You get, so it's so terrible. This is like, you can say that only 30% could actually go back to school. So now, if you have those kind of people in the community, if you have them in the nation, it means there's going to be high crime rates, a lot of crime rates, which has started happening already. Students that are like 13, 14, 15 getting pregnant, So we can get those people, train them more about fashion, empower them, even though you can go back to school and you can still do something with your life, So this is another strategy of reducing crime rates in the community also. Thanks.
Are there a lot of kids that are making poor decisions because of the lack of opportunities in your area? Do you have any personal friends who have fallen on the wrong side of the law because there was nothing else really to do? Is this one of the reasons why you really wanted to fight towards this, towards this wonderful mission?
It's one of it, but I won't say it's the major part of it. I like to see my people look good, but just like Africa, we know Africa is a low and middle, there's a middle and low income continent. The major thing, what actually inspired me is that when I want to reduce the costs of fashion, so everyone can afford, at least just like everybody can afford water, they should be able to afford a good clothes. Even though people will say clothes is not important, fashion is not important, but I ask them, can you go naked on the streets? You can't walk on the street naked. So it's also very important. Shelter is more like shelter also. So back to your question, you said, have I ever seen anybody that's actually gone? I mean, yeah, a lot of them. I've seen a lot. So they are not my personal friend, but everybody's my friend. Once everybody's my friend. So I've seen a lot of young, talented people. When I have a conversation with them, I'll be like, what are you doing? He's smoking already. In fact, he's becoming a father already, 17, 16. And and I'll be like, now you've gotten to that point, you have someone pregnant already. How do you want to sustain? You can't even say anything. But this is someone that when you look at him, if you know how to see potentials of people, this guy has a lot of potential. But people are not coming up to me. People are not helping out in this part. So it's something that is actually also part of the reason why I'm getting into this project. Thanks.
Larry, this is a difficult question for me to ask because I don't want to come across as insensitive or anything, but I do want to know,
Okay.
how difficult is it when you're in a country where there is very little hope to begin with?
Yeah.
You feel like you're behind the 8 ball all the time. You really feel like you're there's not a lot of income, there's not a lot of income opportunities. How hard is it to build something in Africa right now to try to lift people's impression of what you're doing, lift that hope for these kids? How difficult is this for you?
Very difficult. Everything I've been doing has been for my pockets. In fact, Africa is, I want to talk about some part of the politics part. Well, when people ask me, why don't you talk to the government? This thing is about the nation. Talk to the government. Yeah, but if you know Africa very well, the government only supports projects when you've started. That's how, even for young entrepreneurs like me, we don't have real access to the funds. For example, if you go to the bank that you want some money, the least you can get is 10% per month with a collateral, which is not supposed to be 10 to 15 to 20%, which is, it doesn't make any sense. So you find out a lot of young entrepreneurs can't even go for that struggle. So this period, it has been really, really very tough. And secondly, why I don't want to make it so public right now is because when governments get something like that, like, okay, if they're in front of me, they can always kick me off because it's government. So, but if I strive hard to get the money to raise the first money, then they can be behind me to support me. They can't kick me off easily. Unlike when I let them get in, they can always get me out. Yeah, people can be like me, but they can have the same passion that I have for this thing. So that means the prayer is gonna die. So that is why I'm really taking my time. I'm begging a lot of people to see this, who feel like, okay, this is the best thing to support this project, because it's really, really tough in Africa. We don't have the availability for funds or a lot of things. So it's very hard. That's it.
Well, Larry, let me say this right away. I love it. I love your passion. Every government has its own flaws. Okay, there's definitely there's no other way to say it. It's a little bit safer, I feel, for me to say that our government is just as twisted as other governments when it comes to, trying to, if you're not talking with your wallet, our government doesn't want to hear you. And that's just kind of the way it is. But we here at Community Pay It Forward are very, very proud to be helping Larry build this program. And you can find Larry's page, as you can see it right here. This is the Larry Robs brand, and we're so happy to have this on board. But you can find Larry, all the information right here on community improvement projects, because that's one of the great things that he's doing, is he's really trying to improve his community. So that's something that we do. We've also given him a couple other locations that you can find him at our community Cub Club. Because why? Well, he's trying to help kids. So we've got him right here with our Cub Club, because this is giving kids a chance. And as we always say, if we don't give kids a chance, how are they supposed to shine? So, but we've got Larry on here a couple times. We're going to work with him to work his magic and to get this done. So make sure that you go to our, find any of our verified partners right here on this link, and then you go here to the mission partners, and you can find Larry in a couple places. You can find him once again, Community Cares Cub Club and the Community Improvement Projects. But all you have to do is shop and support. So we're begging you to please take this step, meet some of our wonderful verified partners. As you can see, the list just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There's somebody in every single one of these, and they're here to help you, and not only help you, help Larry. And as a matter of fact, this is something that Larry and I have already talked about. One of these days, real soon, as soon as we can help him get up and going, his brand is going to be right here on our clothing and fashion. He's going to be giving back to people as soon as he can. You help him, he's going to help others. I think that's a wonderful, wonderful way to go. So, Larry, I want to give you all the encouragement in the world. I hope only the best for you. Why don't you do me a real quick favor and ask, tell the people why, what they can expect once you're up and running. What can they expect from the Larry Robs brand?
Yeah, what they can expect a lot. First, the first is we're gonna like start creating awareness for people to know that what's for example, the cancer patients. We need to start letting them, okay, there are some things that are causing all these things first, and also the product we actually partner. We're gonna partner, for example, we partner with your company to make sure that we keep supplying and I mean to start exporting, and people can also buy good quality clothes, cotton, organic, nuts or mixed or all that, and at a very reasonable price. And this is the best way we can all tackle this issue in fashion industry. We are all tired of using inferior things. Let's go back to those days where we use real cotton, real fabrics, real everything. And I know we can do it all together. Thank you.
Not a problem, Larry. And once again, we are proud to be part of your growth. We're proud to be associated with your mission. I think that your mission is so important because you're looking to improve a difficult area. So, Larry, if people want to learn a little bit more, how do they get a hold of you, my friend? Okay, so unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, that is where the interview stopped, thanks to the wonderful internet, the whole interweb thing that happens. And I don't know if anybody else has witnessed this, and I'm gonna throw it out there. Please respond in the messages, or you tell me your thoughts. We had solar flares a couple weeks ago. Ever since then, my internet personally, I've noticed, has had a lot of mishaps. You've seen it a couple times tonight when I go to play a commercial. It'll start the commercial, then stop. And then I have to press it again because you pop back on and I'm sitting there doing whatever, and I'm trying to cover my tush here, making sure that you don't see me doing some weird stuff. But I don't know. Could maybe that be a thing? Or am I just wearing a silver aluminum foil? So those little green guys, I don't know. Look, I know there's other life forms out there. I mean, I think it's going to be dangerous for us to find out. They're going to be pissed off that we ruined their fishbowl, is what it is. So, I'm almost afraid of the overlords to come back home and see what we've done. I think we peed on the carpet way too much. So that was Larry Robes, one of our newest mission partners. He and his brand are, he's working really hard to do some really, really great stuff. And it is our mission to be worldwide. We want to make sure that everybody does realize there's only one race, and that's the human race. We're all in this together. We can do some fantastic things if we work together. I do want to let you guys know that last week we did introduce our July wine event, and it's going very well. We appreciate everybody, and we ask you to please keep up with what's going on. This month, you are supporting Marie Barney Boston Foundation, which helps kids get further training, and not always school. Maybe it's training to become a truck driver. I went through that class, and I know it cost like $2,500 to get that certification. Let's be honest here. $2,500 is cheap compared to a college, and it's really not fair that people go in and they try to get all this training. They try to do all this stuff, and the first thing they got to start with is paying a college bill to try to create a life for themselves. So the Marie Barney Boston Foundation is helping in kids who are struggling, helping them do some great things. So please make sure that you take and you utilize the Community Pay It Forward fundraising. Oh, Community Pay It Forward program. Sorry, we don't use that F word anymore. Community Pay It Forward program to support great causes like the Marie Barney Boston Foundation. We have one last video that we have recorded, and as promised, this is Mrs. Daria Mann. Once again, she is a Community Pay It Forward partner. She is one of, she's been with us for over 3 years now, and she's just been a wonderful, wonderful find personally. She's a great friend of mine, and just for the community, for the she's donated clothing to us. She's done a lot, and we'd love to bring her to you. This is our first showing. Actually, technically our second, because Brian was talking about mental health. So we're going to say that this is our second showing in Rediscover the Happy Place. So please remember that all of these are an option. If you are having issues, if you are having trouble, and you want to find something, some way to talk through this, or to talk to somebody who you're specifically comfortable with. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find the options. Folks, if they don't know about the options, they don't know about the options. Let's make sure everybody knows. We're going to be talking to some more people. We've already talked to a man coach. We're going to be talking to a business that is offering healthcare as a benefit to your family, to your employees, and to your volunteers and stuff coming up on Friday. We have a couple more interviews set up that we're going to be talking to some other people. There are some wonderful, wonderful programs out there, and we're just cracking the seal on this, okay? We're going to keep going, and we're going to make this roundtable happen on the 15th, on August 15th, and this roundtable is going to be one of the most important things we've done all year, because this roundtable is going to bring to the forefront a lot of people doing a lot of good. So this is Miss Daria Mann, and she is helping us rediscover the happy place. So please enjoy this. I know I sure did. Hello, everybody. Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward, and I am joined by a very good friend of mine. Daria Mann has been a partner of ours for probably about 3 years now. You've been with us for quite a while, and Daria, you have a wonderful, wonderful program. You're a hypnotherapist.
I am, yes.
And it was funny that when we first met, what you loved to talk about was, if you need to quit smoking, come and see you. And I know that you had quite a bit of success with that, but you also take care of family therapy. You're really deep into family therapy. Can you tell us a little bit about, well, just tell us about your practice, what you really focus on, and then let people know where they can get a hold of you up front, and then we'll revisit that in the end.
Sure. Yeah, as Zach said, I am a hypnotherapist. I actually went to school for a whole year in 2014 to become a hypnotherapist. We went every single weekend. So Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. At the end of that year, I registered as a registered psychotherapist and became a hypnotherapist. And then I stayed with my mentor, who's a clinical psychologist and was my trainer for another year and a half, with additional mentoring, supervision, that type of thing, to become really good at hypnosis. I'm pretty much an advanced clinical hypnotherapist, and I can work with just about everyone. But as we worked together, she said, Daria, you are more than just a hypnotherapist. I really think you should go and become a therapist. And so I looked into schools, found Regis, she had suggested that I become an LPC, which is a licensed professional counselor. But I went to one of the colleges and she described the difference between licensed professional counseling and marriage and family therapy. And I thought, I kind of already know how to work with people one-on-one. So I think I'd like to just expand my horizons. If I have to go to school anyway, I might as well learn the system work. And I'd been an educator for many years, working with families all the time as a preschool teacher, as a director, as an elementary teacher. And so I understood systems and I know how powerful the whole family system works and how it affects each other. And so I went to school to Regis, got another master's degree. I already had a master's degree in education. And in 2019, I graduated with that degree and I got to start all over with my hours. So I'm not quite yet licensed as a marriage and family therapist, but I am a marriage and family therapist candidate. And in the meantime, yes, the state of Colorado changed registered psychotherapists. No one else can ever be one. They can't ever even sign up for it because it's an unlicensed position, but they also changed the name of it to unlicensed psychotherapist. Now, I kept both designations so that I don't have to be supervised for every single client that I meet with, because that would cost me a fortune. But I plan on being completely licensed by next year. And I don't remember the other question you asked me. Did you ask me another one?
Yeah, well, I was gonna have you talk to people about how to get a hold of you, but we can get to that later. Let's really dive into what we're here to talk about. We are working with talking with people right now because we want your help to help us rediscover the happy place. And our whole concept behind this is that we want to talk to people who have been through different training like yourself. And we know that when it comes to mental health and mental issues, people are having, it's not just one thing that causes this. It's a multitude of different subjects that can bring on that feeling of devastation and overwhelming dread.
Mhm.
What are some of the things that your training can help people get rid of or talk through? I don't like get rid of, but talk their way through. What are some of the things that you can do to help people do that?
Actually, there are some things I can help get rid of.
Smoking.
Believe it or not. I work with addictions. I actually went on, got more training last year to be a licensed addictions counselor. Now, I don't need 3 licenses, so I'm not pursuing that license, because then I would need an additional 3,000 hours and I don't want to pay for a supervisor. But I have all that extra training. So I help people with addiction, and oftentimes that involves the family, because the family is affected by someone who is always drunk or is high and maybe says something or does something that they wouldn't do under normal circumstances, but have hurt their children or hurt their spouse or hurt a significant other, or just even their parents. Just, oh, I can't believe that my child fell into this. And I've worked with individuals like I worked with a mom of a son who went to rehab, just to help her understand that it wasn't all her fault, to let go of some of that guilt and shame, and become more confident in who she is as a mom, and that she did a great job as a mom. It wasn't her fault that he has an addiction. Also anxiety and fear and doubt, self-confidence. Oftentimes I have clients that come in and say, I say, well, tell me a couple statements. I am confident. I am happy. I am, that you want your subconscious to believe. And some of them sadly say, I don't have any hope. I am crap. I'm trash. I don't believe in myself. That's why I came to you. And I'm like, okay, well, we're starting from ground zero, but I create hope and I create peace and I create harmony. So let's dive into some of those things. And as a therapist, I meet with people for 2 hours, which is highly unusual. Most therapists will meet for 50 minutes. But I meet for about an hour and we do talk therapy. And then I weave that into the hypnosis. And then when I meet with families, I give them a full 2 hours. Now, that can seem like a horrifyingly long time. But what I've found is families about the 50-minute mark are finally getting to the nitty gritty issues. And then if I send them out, they're probably going out in maybe even a worse way because they finally brought up the issues. And so I find that if I keep them here and I can teach them skills like talking about their family or their feelings and giving them skills of how to communicate their feelings and their thoughts and their ideas and help them separate those stories that they've created in their head and help them to just, okay, what really happened? Let's sort through that. So I've got 2 families today that I know I'm going to be working with that. One is a court-ordered family. A dad and his 2 kids have to have court-ordered family therapy. And then I have another one who was a client I actually worked with, the mom, and she's come in with her teenager when her teenager was suicidal. And I helped them a lot, just communicate. They've got a more peaceful relationship. And then her son came home from college after some suicidal statements and quit college and is home, but now is casting blame on her and pointing a lot of fingers. And what I've found is that no one really can point a finger at someone else without pointing the finger back at them. You know, it takes 2 in a relationship and there's responsibility on both parts.
You said something early on in that statement, and I just want to ask a question and kind of verify this. The mom who came in and said, "I blame myself," is that at all helping the person that's got the mental issue? Her taking on that blame on herself, is that helping that person at all? All that's doing is making things worse, is it not?
Right, right. Because now the son is seeing the mom depressed, casting guilt and shame on herself, you know, taking the blame. And yeah, this person who is actually the drinker who has an alcohol problem isn't acknowledging that the problem is because they made a choice to drink alcohol and their body, not everybody has this, but their body is basically allergic to alcohol. They have a disease called alcoholism. And that means they can't even take one little drop, or pretty soon they're drunk, and one day can lead to another, can lead to another, can lead to another, can lose jobs, can, you know, devastate the family, can lose their spouse, can lose their children. I mean, it just, you know, and many are suicidal.
Daria, what would be the first thing that you would tell somebody that is going through a difficult situation and they don't know exactly what to do, but they notice that somebody in their family is going through an issue? What would be the first thing that you would tell them? Okay, before you take any other step, do this. What can help somebody out? Because one of our goals here is to learn how to start a conversation. And this is not an easy conversation to start. If it was, we wouldn't be losing as many people as we are. So we're asking people right now, what is one step that we can take if we notice somebody in our lives that is sliding down that road? What is the first thing that you would suggest we do?
Breathe.
That's
breathe. Honestly,
fantastic.
Breathe, try to clear your thoughts, you know, get all of the craziness out of your own head, and then look at what's actually going on. You know, I do training on suicidal prevention, and there's a whole list of things to like even look for. Some people don't even realize that maybe someone is suicidal, but maybe they're giving things away, or they're sad and they're depressed and they're staying in their room, or maybe they're not going to work, they're not going to school. All those signs and symptoms that you can kind of just be aware of. So start really paying attention. And then when you do realize, okay, there is something going on, then honestly, just approach them with love. I love you. I love you. I care about you. I am your mom. I am your dad. I am your sister. I'm your brother. I am your friend. And I am here for you. How can I help you? What I've observed is some pain. And I'm seeing some symptomatic things that are coming out of that pain. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But I'm here to just listen and care, and then be quiet.
There's we've heard a lot about how when you approach somebody and you ask them, hey, talk to me. One of the things that I was told recently is, if you're going to say those words, you better be damn well ready to listen, because you sitting there telling somebody, tell me what's wrong, what's going on, and then the next thing they see is this. You got your cell phone up, you're distracted. All you're doing is telling them your problem, not mine. What would be and I love the way that the way that you said breathe first, because I think that's very good. Because if you come in this way, coming in with a preconceived thought on what their problem is, that's not helpful.
Right.
I mean, we've got to let them tell us what's wrong, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if they don't know how to listen to somebody, if they don't feel confident in themselves on how to listen to somebody, what can we do next? What can we do from there? Because not everybody, I don't think everybody's going to be comfortable listening. But we've got, one of the things that I've been saying, and maybe you can put an end to me saying this. I don't know if you would do that or not, but one of the things that I've been telling everybody is that reacting from a suicide, there's no way to react well from a suicide. So we need to learn how to pre-act. And that is one of the things that we're really trying to teach people with this program, is we're trying to get them to think about things before it happens and pre-act and try to not have a way to, or not have a reason to react. If somebody is not able to listen to somebody, Daria, what should they do? What should their first step be? If they don't feel that they are the person who can physically sit there and listen to somebody, what should their next step be?
Well, therapy. And in all honesty, in Colorado, Medicaid is pretty easy to get. So if someone's lost their job, it's a simple application. Zero income will get you Medicaid. Medicaid will get you a whole slew of therapists. I'm not telling you they're all good, but they're all there, and it's practically free. Medicaid therapists, if there is any out of pocket, it's usually $5 for a session. Yeah.
I want to get into the happy points now. We don't want to make this all about gloom and doom. What are some of the advantages of hypnotherapy over the everyday therapist? What are some of the things that you can offer somebody that a regular therapist cannot?
Well, they've done a lot of research. Most of it was done in the 70s, kind of an older practice. So, like the newer things they're talking about now is a lot of neuroscience, and like EMDR are being researched now. Hypnosis isn't being researched quite as much anymore. But the research they did basically says that one session with hypnosis therapy and hypnosis can be equal to 10 sessions of talk therapy. Now, the most important thing I believe is there are a lot of hypnosis people. They call themselves hypnotic coach. They call themselves hypnotic workers. They call themselves sage hypnotists. They call themselves hypnotists. They are not hypnotherapists. Now, they may call themselves that, but as you find out their training, you may find out they took 1 week of training and they're out there meddling in something that can be very can actually cause harm, because you're getting down deep into the subconscious and you're making suggestions. And maybe someone who perhaps has been traumatized as a child, if you say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, you could actually re-traumatize them. And sometimes, I don't know, I kind of call it playing with hypnosis. There's a lot of people that offer like, oh, let's come and meet and let's have coffee and let's do past life regression all together. Or let's do some parts therapy together. And I mean, I've even treated people who've been harmed by some people kind of like playing with that really, really powerful tool. So it's important, I think, that you find someone who is trained and honestly understands the mind and how powerful it can be. And you really want the mind to be working for you, not against you.
Right.
And oftentimes in people that are struggling with mental health issues, their mind is not working for them. They're doom and gloom, and they're focusing on negativity, and there's a lot of guilt and shame. And like a woman I met with yesterday, just doing intake, she finally admitted to me that she'd been sexually abused by an uncle when she was 7 years old, and she had not put that together with what she's struggling with today, until I said, oh, wow, that's thank you for sharing. And that's important to consider. That might be why you struggle with relationships. What do you think?
That's something that there are people who really do not know how to put those two things together, right?
Right.
I mean, and so there's something in your past that you may have tucked deep down inside that's a root issue of what's going on, and your brand of therapy can take and help remind the brain or pull it out of the dark recesses.
Yeah, I can do regression, and I do regression, but I usually don't take them to that traumatic incident unless they insist. I have had someone come back and they just wanted some memories. And usually what I say is, let's do some work first. And then if it's still bothering you and you still want to do it, maybe on the fourth session, we'll do that. But I want to make sure we're in a really good space before we actually go there, because re-traumatizing you probably already have some PTSD. Re-traumatizing you is not going to be helpful.
Right.
At all. So we're not going to go there unless you insist, like after we've had several sessions together. And honestly, I've never had anybody really say, okay, I'm ready to go do that. Never. Because we can release and let go of that root cause of the symptoms. And even medication. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I don't do medication. I know some medication is important. Some people have to have it. Diagnoses like schizophrenia or bipolar often are really, really helped by some medication. Some people who are just not sleeping, you don't sleep, medication doesn't give you the best sleep, but at least gets you some sleep. And without sleep, life can be really hard. I can help people release and let go of things, and I give them tools and so that they can sleep and let their subconscious do the work it needs to do, because that's what happens at night.
You also concentrate a lot on family therapists, and I just want to say this first off. I want to thank you very much for joining me today. This is something that you and we've been trying to work on getting us together, but your schedule is so difficult sometimes, and then it doesn't mix up with ours. You can find all of Daria's information if you go to communitypayitforward.us, and you can find her page under Metro Denver Hypnotherapy and Family Therapy. I know that's a lot there, but if you go here to the verified partners spot and you go right down here to family therapy, look at this beautiful smile. It's going to pop up right now. There you go. And you can find Daria right there, and all of her information is there. So make sure that you go ahead and pull that up and check out everything about Daria. Why don't you give us some of the things that you have a lot of experience with on helping out families, and this doesn't have to just be suicide related. Let's talk about the entire family real quick, and what are some of the things that you feel like you really have a grasp on being able to help people?
I started out kind of like really broad in general, and I'm finding that what is coming to me most often are families who have been separated and have children. So some of them are a father and a son or a daughter that are struggling in their relationship. They lived with dad for a little while. Now they're living with mom and they're being pulled and push me, pull me, that type of thing. So I meet with first like the dad and the son. And then, we're trying to talk, we're trying to get them to communicate. And then oftentimes I'll bring in the mom and I'll say, we're going to have a session with just the co parents. So mom and dad who are no longer together. Sometimes I even include the step parents. So I can have, mom with her new husband and dad with his new wife and even their extra children. And basically what I say is, okay, I'm here to create peace and harmony in this relationship. First and foremost, why are you putting the swords up? Why are you hurting each other? You're done. You've decided that the relationship is not going to work. You are finished. But here's the problem. You've got this child who is two parts of is half of each of you. And so when dad is being mean about mom, this child is thinking, oh, maybe he doesn't like me either, or vice versa. And so a lot of times it's meeting with those parents and saying, okay, it is time. Let's get out whatever you need to get out now without your child here. Let's talk about it. What happened? Okay, what happened? What are you still holding on to? Why are you still resenting him over this? What forgiveness needs to happen? Because you know what? It's done. You've been divorced for 3 years. So stop using this child as this weapon and using weapons against each other, because this child is the most important part here. And this child is struggling with depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts. And it's going to take time because it's all talking. It doesn't involve a whole lot of hypnosis, although I do use a lot of my tools in that that I learned from hypnosis. But that has really become my specialty and what I love. Now, what I don't love is that oftentimes courts are involved, CFIs are involved, GALs are involved, and I have to go through all these things. Like some people I can meet with Zoom, and like I've got the child with me in my office, and then I have to meet with the dad on Zoom because they've got a restraining order against each other. So it gets complicated, but I'm willing to work through those complications in order to help the family.
That specific problem, and I will admit, after my first divorce, I was so young. I was 24 on my first divorce. I was a young father, and quite frankly, probably too immature to have had a child. Hindsight being what it is. My son has grown up to be a very, very well-adjusted young man. Matter of fact, I'm extremely excited. We get to see him for the first time in 3 years here at the end of the month. He's finally coming home from Japan. Get this, Daria, he's going to officiate my wedding. My son is going to officiate my wedding. So that's
cool.
yeah, it's really kind of weird, so it scares me what he's going to do. He is his father's son, let's put it that way. So, but having both of my boys as part of that is going to be something special. But I know that when I was younger, my thoughts towards his mom really played a part in everything that I would do. And I do realize now as I've gotten older that I really wish I would have handled that different, because I could have helped him through some difficult things instead of using him to get me through difficult things. And that's something that, just as a message to dads out there, it's tough, but don't use that kid. Don't don't use that kid. You know, it's that kid's something to love, not use. So Daria, people can get a hold of you by calling you at 303-358-1293, correct?
Yep. And that is my cell phone.
That is your cell phone.
And I'm okay with getting a call.
All right.
You know, if it's too late, leave a message. If I'm with a client, leave a message. But I usually try to get back to people at least by that night, sometimes the next day. And honestly, sometimes I'm calling people at 8:30, 9 o'clock because I'm just finishing my day.
Well, and you are taking on new clients?
I am. Yep.
All right. And please do remember this wonderful, wonderful woman, everything that she does, she is a part of the Community Pay It Forward Fund family. So she's one of our verified partners. And as I've said, she's one of my heroes. She's driven all the way up here to Northern Colorado to deliver clothing for people. She's been a part of everything that we do. So my respect and love for this woman is undying. But Daria, it was such a pleasure getting you involved and bringing you into helping us rediscover the happy place. If you had one last thing to say to all the people out there who are struggling, what would that be?
Let go of fear, let go of anger, and let's all create peace and harmony with each other.
Well, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it again. Once again, you can get a hold of Daria at 303-358-1293, or you can go to metrohypnotherapy.com. So all that will be available if you go to communitypayitforward.us, and you can find her there. So thank you, Daria. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And I'd be happy to give Zach a whole bunch of the money.
Yeah.
What he does is pretty amazing. And I appreciate what he does too.
All right. Well, thank you all very much. Please keep looking forward to more of these PACT shorts. Again, we cannot react in a good way to suicide, so let's pre-act. People like Daria are out here. Let's utilize what we've got. Let's stop the madness. We'll see you at the next time. Thank you. A lot of great information was given by Daria. And again, we want to thank Daria. I want to thank all of my guests. I want to thank Larry Robs. I want to thank Daria Mann. I want to thank Tracy Konigsbauer and Brian Gibson. I want to thank everybody who took part or who has taken part in this that we haven't heard from yet, because there are some more great things coming up. And as I've stated before, you know, we're really going to be working hard on just letting you know what's out there. We are working on the community Dare to Care stand-up centers. The community Dare to Care stand-up centers are going to be taking place of the donation dens. Anybody who has ever heard me talk about the donation dens knows that this is something that I started because of my dislike for most thrift stores. It concerns me that good people do great things by giving away free clothing, free wares, and they get used in a financial gain program, and a lot of times for the wrong reason. Look, I'm not saying that it's always that way. Habitat for Humanity does a great job with making use with what they do. I know that there's a couple other ones that are out there that are really, really good at what they do. But you know, my one of the asks that I have of you is just let's be careful on where we take it, because there's a lot of them that, you know, I'm not going to name names, but you know, we all know who's out there, okay? But there's some of them that are just, they're in it for the money. They're not in it to help people. They see it as a way to, hey, look, I see a new Ferrari in that pair of jeans. Well, that's not what that pair of jeans was meant for. It was meant to help some people. So one of the things that we really, really want to do is we want to make sure, yeah, that's it. They profit off other people's pain. So that's a great statement by Sarah. They do. They also make a huge profit off other people's inability to shop at Walmart. Um, and you know, they work under the disguise that, hey, we're here to help people with little money. And a lot of times you go there and things are priced at the same price as brand new. And you know, I mean, look, I know that there are people out there who like going thrifting and stuff like that. For you, I love it. I love it, and I congratulate you. And please, all day long, go thrifting, go enjoy it. Our donation dens are available for people who are suffering, for people who need that extra help. Okay. Our donation dens are from the community, for the betterment of the community. The stand up centers are going to be so much more. The stand up centers are still going to have the donated clothing for people. They're still going to have donated furniture and housewares and toiletries, children's needs, toys, school supplies. These are all stuff that we already have. You need to talk to somebody. I love to listen to people, and I love to try to help people find resources. Well, that's going to be supersized. It's not just going to be me. So lucky you, you don't have to just talk to me. And yep, Sarah, that's the one I will not mention. So you got it. And I'm pretty sure everybody else is going, uh-huh, it's yeah, well, that's the one I'm thinking of. Um, my thing is that, who do they help? Does anybody know? Just asking. Um, anyway, the donation or the stand-up centers are also, we're working real hard to bring in wonderful partners like, and this is just an example, but I want to shout them out anyway, like the Christ Clinic in Fort Collins, which offers free health care to families twice a week. We're looking to maybe try to bring them over into our area and work with them and offer free health care for people in our community, because that's something that's very important. You know, I mean, look, I don't care if you got money or not. You need to make sure that your kids, that yourself, that everybody's taken care of. And one of the worst things in the world, um, yeah, yeah. One of the most difficult things in the world, one of the things that break people the quickest financially are medical bills. You know, you always hear stuff about credit card debt. Well, you know, there's a lot of people who don't. They get into trouble with those, you know, scam credit cards. Yes, but the truth is, it is it's medical bills that get us in the most trouble, because, you know, look, here's the truth about it. Okay, uh, a medical a medical company or a hospital cannot turn you down. No matter how much you owe them, they cannot turn you down. And so people who feel like they have legitimate issues, you know, that's something that they have to, you know, that's something that people, unfortunately, you know, every time they go in, that's another month that you know they're going to be working from behind. That's another, as Sarah says here, $950 every 2 weeks for her son's medical stuff. And and Sarah's got multiple kids, and each child has special needs. This is one of them. We all know that medical prices are outrageously ridiculous. Not a lot we can do about that, except for complain and hope to God somebody hears us someday. But if we can find a way to where we can support each other and we can help each other through some of this, and I think a lot of this does have to do with the mental health factor, I think is going to help out a lot of people. Look, you know yourself more than anybody else. You know if something's wrong. If something's truly wrong, you need to, you need to watch out for that. Two things we learned tonight, and then we're going to cut this short. I say short, even though we went half an hour over. That's my logic. Zach logic. Zach is me logic. Two things that we learned tonight that are very important. I'm actually going to go with three. One, it's not just the person feeling the mental health stress, it's the family. The family feels it too. So please make sure that you watch everyone. Watch the family, watch the person with the issue. Offer the help. Call 970-909-0751. 970-909-0751. If you want to get a hold of, if you're a veteran, you need to get a hold of help, give us a call. If you want to try Daria and see what she's about, give her a call. She's going to talk to you for free the first time, and then she'll set up. She can talk to you about that after that. Second thing, and this is to the people who are wanting to talk or wanting to listen. First step, and I love this. Breathe. Take a deep breath, because you are about ready to take on a story that can negatively affect you. But you need to remember, I am here to help this person. I'm not here to take their problem on. I'm here to help them through it. So breathe. The third thing, the last thing that we're going to leave you with tonight. If you're struggling, let go was Daria's, was her suggestion. Let go of the pain. Let go of the struggle. Let go of the anger. Let it go. It's not doing you any good, and it's hurting you deep down. And I know that's so difficult to say or to hear, and it's even more difficult to do. But Community Pay It Forward for this next month. Autumn Dahlia Creative Services, Z World Webs, Scott O'Sullivan Law Firm, and all of our other partners. We are dedicated to helping find solutions to these problems. I want to thank everybody who is already sponsored, and I want to invite everybody to come along and sponsor. We need your help. Please go to communitypayitforward.us/ rediscover the happy place. How'd you like that? / Yeah, I know it was kind of dorky. It is what it is. Folks, that's it for me tonight. This is very important, and I appreciate you dealing with me for an extra half an hour on this. These shows might actually be moving to half an hour if we get them going right. I love being able to bring you the words that we were able to bring you tonight. When it gets like this, these are important things, and I really think that it does you good to hear them, and it really does us good to tell you about them. So please remember to love somebody out there, because somebody out here loves you. Please remember, no one needs to go it alone when we all come together. Food and clothing that you no longer wear are doing well, don't wear the food. Unless you wear like those Fruit Loop necklaces, then bring me one. I haven't had one of those for a while, and they sound good. Man, that sounds good. Wow, that really sounds good. Sorry, shiny object. Please remember, if you got extra food, give it to somebody who's struggling with hunger. Please make sure that your clothing can go to somebody who's struggling with the elements. My name is Ethan. I'm the founder and president of Community Pay It Forward. I want to thank Sarah Goodell, and I want to thank Emily Goldmer for all of their help. You've been watching pACT, the podcast for all coming together.
Stepping out of her fear, bring me home, out alone, and show me the way. You wanna be a part of Sunset Boulevard.